We're going to divide our Django Shop project into three apps: Shop, Pay, and Users. All of the apps perform different functions in the program. So for instance, our Shop app is going to manage our products and possibly our departments, and I'm also going to use that to manage the looks of the web page, so how everything functions, what the user sees when they are on our website. I'm not going to go into the details of what the users and the pay app is going to do because we'll get into that when we're coding. So let's get started. Alright, let's start a new project. I'm going to call this one Django Shop. So go ahead and type that in and create the project. Alright, the first thing we're going to do is jump into the terminal, and we're going to type pi-m pip install Django. This is going to install Django and all the other files that are important for Django to work. So you can see there it goes, installing. And now we're going to type Django-admin start project. We're going to name our project Django Shop. And then make sure you put a period at the end. That will ensure that the Django project is made in the current directory you are in. Alright, now if we check up here in this file browser, we can see that we have a new folder called Django Shop, and in there we have a couple of files. The settings file is important, the URLs file is important. We'll work with those two primarily, and then we also have a manage.py file. Now this is what we're going to be using to do the rest of the commands for the remainder of this course. So if we type python manage.py, we can start an app, so do start app, and then name your app. So yeah, let's go with shop. Do that for the other two apps. After you're done with those, you'll see a directory for each of the apps you've created. And inside each of those, you got a list of files, and we'll use each of these files to edit our project later on. The first thing we're going to edit, though, is in our base directory. If you go to the settings file, we have to make sure we include which apps are installed. This is an important step that I almost always forget. So you're going to type shop.apps.shopconfig, and then do that for the rest of the apps. This is a step that's very important in making sure your app runs correctly. Now, lots of things will still run, like the apps will still work and everything, but there will be little problems that you can't really figure out why they're happening. And that happens when the apps are not installed. So always, whenever you start an app, make sure you go right away to the settings file and install it. So let's get working on some URL patterns. You can see we already have one listed by default, which is the admin path. So if we're typing in our website, so http://localhost, spell localhost. Wow, that is a struggle. And we're at port 8000, and if you type /admin, it's going to take you to the admin.site.url logic. So we're going to do another path, and this one is just going to be a empty string, and when we get there we're going to include shop.urls. Now if we look over in the shop folder, you can see there's no URL file. So let's fix that real quick. Just do a new Python file and type in URLs. Now we're going to go back to the Django.urls, Django-shop.urls, and we also have to import that include statement, and it's found in the same directory as path is. So now that we've done that, we are going to copy a couple of lines from this Django-shop.urls file. Just can't delete that real quick. And then we're going to paste it in our new URLs file. Now we don't need that admin path. We can get rid of the include keyword because we're not going to use it in this file. And yeah, go ahead and take that part off right there. Now we're going to import the views from the current directory we're in. So from .import views, I'm going to use an alias of shop views. And the reason we're doing this is because if we import multiple view files,
it can become confusing which one's which, and we can get them all mixed up and stuff.
So now we're going to go to the shop views file, and we're going to define a new function called index. We're going to give it a request parameter, and then return an HTTP response. So we have to import that. So from Django.http, import HTTP response. All right, and we're going to go ahead and return that HTTP response. And let's just pass an h1 tag with hello world in it. Now the way views work is it's either a function or a class, and it is able to handle all of your request logic and display what you want to display. So if we're going back to our URLs, we're just going to put in that shop views dot index, and we don't need the parameters or the parentheses at the end. Now I recommend you give it a name. Let's see, I'm going to call this one index. So there we go. Now everything should work by now. So we're going to go ahead and put python manage.py, and this time our command is run server. And then if we click this link right here, it will open in the browser. And look at that, it says hello world.